Good afternoon, friends. Today is the World Environment Day. Today we are at Pragati Maidan. So we have this World Environment Conference happening on the conference hall where the Governor at Uttarakhand had come, Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh. We have a young IITian. He's from Mumbai. And you're Ravi Kaushik. So they have developed some filters and some purifiers. So this is a startup. This is under the Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So, Ravi ji, about yourself, about your education, and when did you think of starting this?
So I am an environmental engineer and started with actually seeing how in Delhi the sky were turning yellowish and there was no way out, right? And everybody, unlike water, you can see water that okay, this is not clean. What I'll do, I'll go home and then drink water. That cannot happen with air, right? You cannot say that okay, air is bad. Let me take a break for half an hour and go back to home and then breathe air, right? So that's why I kind of understood the kind of severity that air purification and pollution had, and that's how my journey started. And I did my master's from IIT Bombay in environmental science domain, kind of technical domain in aerosol science, how particles interact in air. What we have done right now is how we can protect people from both air pollution as well as disease transmission. Currently what's happening in the industry is we are using air filters to purify air basically, but these filters themselves,
filters.
yeah, so these filters themselves become a breeding ground for germs, right? Because they work on capture mechanism, they grow there, they again get resuspended. What we are doing using immune system of plants, we are using those enzymes, putting them over the filters, right, which is completely biodegradable, and now these filters are able to deactivate germs, and you get no resuspension. So that's how you are saved from both air pollution as well as disease transmission.
So, how do you plan to take this commercially? Because, this is again your research.
Right. We have actually taken this commercially, and we are in our early revenue stage. Our the technology has been adopted by organizations like Reserve Bank of India, ONGC, Stock Holding Corporation of India, a cancer hospital, and other hospitals as well. Why we were able to do that is basically of the validations that we have. We have validations from CSIR, NPL, National Physical Lab, that we are able to reduce particles which are as small as the reported size range of SARS-CoV-2. WHO has said that it is being transmitted via droplets. So we have done that kind of testing. We have aerosolized droplets and then saw the reduction of virus RNA, of bacteria, of fungus. We have done testing on black fungus, right? I'm sure everybody knows kind of havoc that black fungus has created last year. At CSIR, IMTech, Institute of Microbial Technology, recently at CSIR, CDRI Lucknow, what we were able to establish is those microbes which are resistant to drugs, we are able to deactivate them as well. So this is going to be huge for the society as whole.
All right. Since you talked about aerosol and right now the filters, like in the air filters, so you have developed them, and the pricing, I want to know. Like suppose people they want to use it for domestic, for home use. So is it viable for them also?
Currently, yes, we are expensive, but what we are doing is we are in touch with companies who want to take the heart of the technology and then deploy it to the mass scale. And we are working on that, and I believe before the winters of this year, we would be able to do that and hopefully to reach mass scale.
Right. And what would your team, like how big is your team right now?
Now we are 14 people, and people in R&D, marketing, operations, all kind of stuff. So yes, we have grown as a team, which is the most difficult part, particularly in hardware and R&D driven startups, right? We were able to do that again because of the motivation that we have, a common goal that we have to serve the society, to help people to live longer, right? If I tell you, you can do just one thing and you can live 9 years longer, just breathe clean air, right? So that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to increase people's life.
And I understand you're also in the automobile space. So how do you, where are you all present?
we are not only catering to automobile space, we are also catering to hospital space, we are catering to F&B space. For example, in automobile, the problem is when we are inside a car, the disease transmission is really easy to happen, right? What we are saying, whatever filters that a cabin air filter is there, right? You can replace that. You can replace your germ growing filter with our germ destroying filter, and that's how you are protected with both air pollution and disease transmission. In hospital segment, the problem is that it's a saying, right? आप हॉस्पिटल में जाओगे 50 बीमारियां और लगा के आओगे.
Yes, better to get out of the ICU as soon.
Right. So the problem is HAIs, that is called hospital-acquired infections, and that's a real problem. We are trying to solve that as well. What we are doing is, again, filters are one of the sources how you get germs in the air around you, and that's how we are nipping in the bud itself and changing the filters. In F&B industry, the problem is again microbial growth. For example, Swiss roll, right? They are being manufactured. The problem is there will be fungal growth and bacterial growth after some time, because of which now what these industries, F&B industries are doing, they are using a lot of preservatives, right? 3 times, 4 times preservatives, which is ultimately really harmful for us. What we are doing at the time of packaging, at the time of processing, they can reduce the microbial load in the air, ultimately lesser load in the food, ultimately helping them to reduce the amount of preservatives that they are doing.
Right. And recently when you were talking about automobiles, so I have a Honda Amaze, and I was there for some manufacturing defect of their electrical part. So I was a little late. So the workshop, they had opened up a Honda Amaze. I said, what is he doing? The mechanic. He said, ki condenser iska jam ho gaya. So then he showed me the filter, the cabin filter you're talking about. He showed me and he cut through the blade, and he said this car originally, the cars which have come down in 2016, 17, 18,
right,
Honda has not putting those cabin filters. And I paid 1,000 rupees to get that filter in my car. I said, please check it in my car. He said, sir, aapki gaadi mein hoga. I said, no, please check. And I kept on standing in the workshop. And finally he opened and there's no cabin filter. So I think, because what you said, people are not aware.
Yes.
And nobody is taking on the big, nobody's...
awareness is a key.
Awareness
definitely
is not there.
Yes.
So today, since it's the World Environment Day, and you people are doing something in your own way, so what's your message for the people at large?
One is collaboration. Nobody by themselves can change the world. It has to be a collaborative
Team
effort.
efforts.
Yeah, collaboration and team efforts. And second is, let's be courageous to ask the right questions. Let's be courageous to go to people, ask for help. Because ultimately, if you don't do that, nobody is going to give us help, right? So if we are courageous enough, I'm sure we can get people around us, with us, to help for a common cause.
All right. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, so I think, thank you. This is Sanjay Agrawal, and this exhibition, this show is on till 6th of June. Today we are here on the 5th of June. So I invite the people who are watching the video, they can take a trip here, and there's a lot you can have a look. There's a lot into the Horticulture Society was also there. So I was interviewing some ma'am is saying nothing is actually happening on the ground. आप लोग तो कर रहे हैं in the engineering, in these spaces, but on the natural space, when we are saying grow trees, so how many are growing and what is the real outcome? So we wish, and I would lastly add that say no to drugs, say no to alcohol, and even now people are going veggie. And people are even, they're stopping with milk, because milk is meant for animals, as they are saying. They're researching. In the US, there are people who have come out on the plant-based whole foods.
Right.
So I also want to advocate that. Thank you.